Here, episode of the cybersecurity defense ecosystem, and we're going to be talking about Partner Elevate with Des, and he actually runs an organization that actually helps vendors to up the game when it comes to their partners to grow sales in a consistent, predictable, sustainable way. And he's part of the ecosystem, and we're going to talk about how his solution can help vendors to do this right. Des, first of all, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much, Julian. It's great to be here, and it's great to be part of this ecosystem that has taken a long time to get to this point where we can now talk about things in a really structured way. So I think from here, there's just so much opportunity for us to go and help both vendors and channel partners in the cybersecurity defense ecosystem grow and scale together.
Yeah, it took 2 years to build, but here we go. I mean, in the end, right, you've got vendors on one side and you've got their partners on the other side. And the challenge is, how does vendors, do things with their partner ecosystem that's going to help accelerate, the right behaviors, right? So they can actually drive demand and sales in a consistent way, not a one-of type thing. So give me, first of all, your take about partners in general between vendors and maybe identify some of the challenges that they're having. And then we could dig into exactly how you can help solve that.
Yeah, sure. So when I think about it from a vendor, software vendor perspective, they want to be drivers of partner impact. And in order to be drivers of partner impact, they need their channel partners to be generating demand for their products and services that add value to their customers. And the problem that we typically see is that these partners, channel partners, aren't in market consistently. They're not consistently driving demand for products and services. And what this does is this really leaves channel leaders of software vendors, it really leaves them quite frustrated and worn out because they have a fiscal responsibility. They have the need to obviously grow that particular channel. And what really happens is they kind of rely on the same partners all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the challenge there is that there's only so much that your partners can do for you that you rely on all the time. So you tend to get constrained by your ability to actually grow. And you kind of look at how do I do this every single year? These vendors lay down plans. They lay down plans for what's our partner capacity, how many partners do we need, and how many partners do we need focused on very particular things. And it's the cyclical behavior which really constrains channel leaders. Now, the opportunity is massive. Recently Matthew Ball from Canalys put a research report out that across the 16 or 17 titans of cybersecurity across the world, vendors, they grew 17% in Q3. And I think it was 90 to more than 90% of the revenue that they delivered was delivered by channel partners. So there's no shortage of opportunity and there's no shortage of spend in terms of where customers' attention is in this particular space. But I think channel leaders at software vendors, they really are in this battle of partner success. They're really in this battle of trying to define what partner success looks like for them. And this is where I think the cybersecurity ecosystem is really well positioned to help them deal with that particular problem.
So Des, what I'm hearing is that, in the perfect world, right? You're a vendor, you sign up, 100 partners, and all 100 are perfect marketing machines, right? They've been reaching out to their customers, weekly, monthly at the very least. They've got their eyes and ears of their customers. And therefore, a new product comes along, puts it into the system, and boom, everybody is aware, overnight. But, this is more of the exception, not the rule, right? Because most of these systems are sort of ad hoc. And at worst, you sign up a partner, they do one campaign, to launch the solution, if you will, with their customers. But one of everything, one of anything is a hit or miss in the
Yeah,
marketing world, right? So
yeah.
now, zooming out, right? You've got this massive numbers of vendors in a massively growing space in cybersecurity, right? And everybody's rallying for position, but a lot of them sort of sound alike as well. So it's not even, getting the bandwidth of your partners, and then they get in the bandwidth of their customers, but it's doing this in a consistent day in day out approach throughout the year that's going to slowly ramp up to get that traction. So what do you say to vendors if they want to win this battle of the minds, if you will, to get more traction?
Yeah, so it's probably something that takes us back to the last 20 years of channel, right? Which is there's this constant um, um, motion of trying to find partner potential. Vendors are always trying to find this partner potential that exists in their particular ecosystem, and the I suppose my call to vendors is that when you're trying to find partner potential isn't attention. Partner potential is actually the ability to scale your sales and marketing and offer differentiated value for your customers. And the challenge that vendors have is that in order to identify whether partners have scale in sales and marketing and the ability to differentiate, they've got to engage with partners in some form of a programmatic engagement, or put them into one of their go-to-markets. And when partners are not scaled in sales and marketing or able to differentiate and be specialized, it's often too late that vendors find out whether the partners can actually execute on this. And it's usually middle of the campaign, end of the quarter coming, and we've got to ramp up sales and our go-to-market activities. And it's really frustrating for them. So for vendors, my advice is really to start to look at the way you identify partner potential differently. Partner potential is your metrics that sit. There's a top-down and a bottom-up approach. The top-down approach is really where are they in our program? What revenue are they driving? What skills and capability do they have? Where are they in our tiering? Are they connected to our customer segments? That typically comes from knowledge and nuance that you get from your channel teams or your partner teams. But the bottom-up approach is that fundamentally, what is driving this partner's business to be in a trajectory to grow? And this is not a plan. This is not build a business plan with your partner. This is about actually helping your partners be very super clear on what it is they are doing to move their particular business forward, so we can identify scale in sales and marketing and ability to specialize as well. When you combine those two, you actually get a delta. And the delta is how investable is this particular partner versus they're not quite investable right now to scale. So what do we need to do as a vendor to put them in a particular pathway through our enablement programs to get them to be an investable partner?
I really like what you said there regarding attention, right? It's growing partners and not getting their attention. You could scream as loud as you want and give it as much swag as you want, but then what you're doing is you're filling your pipeline with all sorts of noise, right? And the reality is that it's always the few, right, that sort of accelerate the sales. And so what you're saying here, Des, is that you want to really identify those partners who can move the needle up in sales and marketing, and figure out exactly what you can do as a vendor, right, to impact that as much as you can. What are some of the things that you would recommend as just broad strokes, right, that you think that vendors are doing or should do to make this more real, or maybe some things that they're doing wrong that's maybe making this even more difficult?
Yeah, look, I think I just want to caveat this with there is a financial requirement around this, and when I often talk to channel leaders about their strategies, I'm not oblivious to the fact that there's economic engine that needs to run here, and we need to drive revenue, and we need to drive growth. So in a perfect world, if we were starting our channel strategy today and we had all this insight and we had all this this learned experience, we could do things a little bit differently. So what I'm not saying that what you're doing today is wrong, because you actually have to drive that economic model. But I think my advice for channel leaders is to just rethink how they are approaching partners when it comes to their overall program and their overall benefits. I think if channel leaders can meet partners more at what the partners actually need. I mean, CRN, I was looking through CRN's list of 20, I think it was 2023, 50 or 100 software vendors, channel chiefs. And they asked them a bunch of different questions. One of the questions was, what is the value of your partner program for your partners? And I actually need to do a blog on this because when you read everything, it's got nothing to do about the partner's business. It's all got to do about helping them grow, helping customers fulfill a cybersecurity problem or cybersecurity need, fill a gap in the solution offering. It's very much about what they're doing for their customers. Now, when your partner program is focused on growing partners, you need to have a very clear idea of how you are helping partners grow and meeting those partners' needs. So with the 17 cybersecurity titans and the 6,500 odd micro cybersecurity vendors that are out there, that are all being spoken to by every single partner channel manager at those particular companies, you've got to have cut through about what you are going to add value to, what your program is going to add value to that partner. And that's about connecting with their need. So really understanding what do partners need and what do your partners need in that particular market. So I would love to see vendors switch the way they talk about partners' need to be really about the partner and not about their need and their customer. And I think when you can connect that need to when a partner can connect that need with what you are offering, you immediately start to take attention into mind share. And that's the piece, that's the dial that really starts to move some partnerships along as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes, they're all reading from the same book, and they're all sort of, I don't want to say copying what each other is doing, but in general, it's like you need to do something different. What's that thing about the definition of insanity? Keep doing the same things over and over. The reality, though, is that this stuff is deeper than just a conversation. It's deeper than just a channel program. It's deeper than just having a really cool partner portal, and trying to automate relationships, which, just never really work, right? The reality is that this is why we chose to work with you, Des, is that in the ecosystem that we've created for the cybersecurity folks in general, right? It's complicated, but the business itself is not that complicated, right? It's business, right? But the topics are complicated. And what we need to do is to figure out what vendors must do, right? To motivate, drive, trigger their partners to take the appropriate actions and do the appropriate behaviors consistently and in a sustainable way that's going to drive a predictable outcome. And
Yeah.
if they could just stop that noise and focus only on those aspects of things, right? They may find that they're going to start to gain more and more traction with more and more partners. And once you've got this, mapped out really good and it's moving along very nicely, then it's just a matter of putting the information together, right? Content, right? The appropriate content, I should add, right? That's going to allow them to actually just push it out to their audience, right? Their customers and prospects on a consistent basis. And if they do this in a kind of, again, predictable, consistent basis, then the end game should be sales demand, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, what software vendors are really good at doing is owning that customer journey. So you've kind of seen software vendors start to own that customer journey. They've got engagement programs for customers that they are taking them from awareness, from unaware problem awareness, all the way to product and solution awareness. So they're owning that customer journey. They're connecting with a customer who doesn't really know right now what their problem is, and they are being a thought leader through digital campaigns and online and through their marketing to take their customer through a journey, a digital journey, and then actually connect them with a partner at some particular point in their co-sell programs or their marketplaces and that. Now, what if a vendor would switch that or use that exact same methodology with their partners? What if they connected clearly more with the partner's need? Why do I need another security vendor? Why do I need to move to, I'm already working with AWS, Microsoft, Sentinel, CrowdStrike, Zscaler. Now there's another cybersecurity vendor that's in front of me. Why do I need them? And the reality is, if you can connect with that need, build on that need and move them through being problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and most aware, you get to own that partner's attention and you get to own that partner's mind share and build it up all the way. So, and I don't see any vendor doing that. They use very traditional ways to recruit partners. They get agencies to phone partners. They get data around their internal systems and what partners aren't selling. But the reality is that there's this wash of partners that are really trying to figure out what they actually need to be successful. And they want a vendor to be that one to take them forward. Partners have a well-formed view of a vendor before they've even taken a call from that partner recruitment specialist. Well-formed view. They've been in the game. They know what the game is. I show you attention. You give me something. I give you something, and we try go and win a deal, and it helps me differentiate, and hopefully I can make something out of that. We should just take that whole mindset and put that aside. And that's absolutely something that Partner Elevate is going to be really clear about with vendors in helping vendors in the cybersecurity defense ecosystem rethink what partner success looks like and how to do that in a programmatic and scalable way.
Loving it. So if your vendors out there listening up, especially in the cyber world, applies to basically any category, by the way, but we're just talking the cybersecurity world right now. But for you to really, get a lot of traction and scale properly, because there is thousands of vendors in this community, you need to differentiate yourself and all the wonderful things that we talk about in marketing, but you also need to find that thing that's going to motivate and drive, that need for your partners. And the faster you do this, the better your traction is going to be. And please don't do what everybody else is doing. Let's do something completely different. That is not just different for the sake of being different for the sake of being right. And that's the challenge, right? Is how do we, do things in a complex environment that it's so noisy right now. So to summarize all this stuff up, there's a lot of things MSPs can enter this community to kind of learn how to build their business. And by the way, we'll talk a bit about as well how Des and his team helps MSPs, right, channel partners, to do exactly this with their customers. And if we can actually help these MSPs to get that, that mindset and that infrastructure, doing well in this space, then it's going to be much easier for vendors to say, to hook into, right, and to empower their partners to do better. So it's a two-sided thing, right? We've got to get the MSPs up and running, doing the right thing, and we've got to have the vendors, supporting that as well. I'll leave you the last word here, Des. And so the way this is working, there's a journey, right, for vendors to enter this ecosystem, and they move through it. And as they move through it, they can add things that's going to help them to accelerate their business and so on. And you're one of those important pit stops that we want them to experience, so they can see a better way of empowering their partnerships beyond what they're currently thinking about. And I dare say, go out on a limb and say it's not only right for the partners they'll meet in this ecosystem, but they'll find that this is beneficial to all their partners across the board. So it's just, we want them to start doing the right thing here. You're the last word, Des. What else do you want to say and wrap this up?
I suppose what I want to say is, I'm sure we'll share this in the show notes, but we have a video for you to watch, partnerelevate.com/CDE. It's a condensed version of what we see the problem is for cybersecurity vendors. So if you're a channel chief, chief partnership officer, if you are focused on growing and building your cybersecurity channel in the CD and with the CD, pop on and have a look at that video, and let's see what we can do to build a clear 3-point plan to help you have more impact with partners that can drive that demand in your cybersecurity ecosystem.
Right on. So watch for the links in the document here, as well as the video, and we shall see you soon. That's it for now. Again, we'll bring you more news as we expand all this. But for now, over and out, Des. Cheers. Thanks.
Thanks, Julian.